Hey everyone, Kim here. Thank you so much for joining me for another Mystery Mystic Monday reading. We are continuing on with part 2 of the detailed oracle reading I'm doing regarding the disappearance of Mariam Touré Sylla. And if you haven't already done so, check out part 1. That is the first part where we do the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle reading, the Divine Shadow Self Oracle, the Dark Mirror. I also use my Defining Characteristics Oracle. So check that out. It's important to watch because it will be definitely referenced in this reading. Okay? All right, let's get to it. All right, so we're going to work with the Secrets Revealed True Crime Oracle. I just take this and I just separate it in smaller sections. And so Spirit, we're coming to you to ask, what can you share with us about her disappearance? We have parent. What about her disappearance that you wish to share with us? Or what happened, or maybe where she's at, or what's the energies surrounding her, the moments, the days, the weeks, the months leading up to her disappearance, all of that. So, okay, oh my gosh. Sorry for the background noises. The window is open. Separated. So I'm going to show you what we've got so far. We've got parent, distraction or diversion. Okay. Landfill, dumpster, or trash. Mountain. Sometimes mountain could be figuratively, right, speaking. It could be like a mountain of evidence, or a mountain, somebody made a mountain out of a molehill, or it could be an actual mountain, although I don't know the terrain of that area in Maryland, so I know where I come from in California, there are mountains, but where Maryland is, I'm not quite sure. So this could be more figuratively speaking. We have suburban and beach. Spirit, what else do you wish to reveal? Motive, monetary gain. And if you watched part 1 of the detailed oracle reading, I talk about that, okay? So her disappearance has something to do with a monetary gain. Her monetary gain, somebody else's, I don't know. We have local. That energy came up in part 1. Children, concealed. Okay. Spirit, is there anything else you wish to reveal to us? Man, that came up in the past reading. So let's do it like this. It's going to be a pretty big spread, and I am time-stamping this. I'm getting into the habit of time-stamping these readings if they go on the longer side, right? One more card, Spirit. Mental gel. We talked about that energy in the part 1. All right. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so far we don't have much about what may have happened. In part 1, there was the dagger card. Now that doesn't necessarily mean she was stabbed or harmed, but it is a curious card. I have other decks that may give us a bit more information about what may have happened. But Spirit is like, okay, this is what you all need to know at this moment. So I'm going to zoom in so we can get a better look-see at the cards. All right. Now, I have to remind you all, this massive deck that I have here that I made, it's 160 cards, okay? It's massive. And you saw how I split it up and I shuffled it, right? It is interesting to me that out of all these cards, we got parent and down here children or child, as it says, child or children. That is interesting to me, okay? That does not mean that a parent did this or that a child did this. Although it could allegedly mean that. It could also mean that someone that was in her charge could maybe know something, have some inside information, some critical information that's not being shared. Why I say that? Because this card says conceal. The child may be holding something. Remember, she's a teacher, so I'll just say that. But she does have a child. I don't know how many children she has, if she only has one child. Only her son really has been mentioned. I haven't seen much in the way of any other children, but she could have other children. This could be speaking about a student, I don't know. But somebody local is concealing and hiding some information. Now, this could be that critical evidence is being hidden or concealed. It could mean that she's being hidden or concealed, okay? We have man. Obviously, you know, that came up in the last reading to me, that a male is responsible or knows a lot about her disappearance, okay? That's what I will say there. Let's move on to distraction and diversion. So here we have distraction or diversion. So this is like somebody trying to divert or distract us from her case. Who would do that? Why would they do that? What would be the reason to distract from a missing persons case? Okay, that's interesting to me. What would be the reason for that? So somebody also may have been distracting her in the days, weeks, and months leading up to this situation, or a constant distraction, just bothering her to distraction, to diversion. So it could be something like that. Okay, I always look carefully too at the card that kicks off the reading, that opens the reading, and in this case it's the parent card. Okay, make sure the picture stays up. Hold on my laptop. Okay, so then we have landfill, dumpster, and trash. All right, so if you look carefully here, it shows behind a building. So it could be a commercial dumpster. Is there a nearby area, apartment complex, or a commercial building where there's a line of dumpsters? There could be critical evidence that was thrown away, or dare I even say, and I don't even want to say it, she herself could have been thrown away or casted away. Sometimes, again, when we're doing readings, it can sometimes be speaking about metaphor. It can be speaking figuratively. So it could be like somebody felt like they were trash or dumped or just casted away, and so they could have been bothered by that. I'm saying that because of the mental jail card. Okay? The mental jail. Somebody in this situation was in a mental jail. Could it have been her? Could she have been in a mental jail? I mean, there is always the possibility that Mariam walked off and left. Although many of her loved ones, the community who knows her, the people in the community, they have all said that she wouldn't do that. She was, very loyal to her students, to her career, her life. She just wouldn't do that, so the chances of her just walking away are probably slim, but it's not impossible. And sometimes when you're just dealing with a lot, somebody's constantly dumping on you, maybe you need to escape. Maybe you need to escape. Or someone who's around her was or is or will be in a mental jail. Okay? That's what that's saying. We've talked about the mountain card. It could be a hill in the area that looks kind of like a mountain. It could, again, I'd have to look at the maps to see if there's a mountain range, to see if there's hills nearby. I don't know. But I was picking up that this is like, figuratively speaking, a mountain of evidence, a mountain of, things that she was going through. That's what I'm picking up on. We have suburban. So I'm assuming that the park is in the middle of an urban or suburban area, and this is over the local card. Okay. When doing readings, I will look here. I will look down crossways, almost like tic-tac-toe, here, here, here. Or how are the cards talking to each other? I look at the cards that are closest to one another for clues, right? So we have local sitting underneath suburban. What that tells me is that she's local, or this person who did this is local or native to this area, or local and close and known to her. That's what I'm picking up on here. Beach. Maybe there's a little stream, or a watery area, a little river, or maybe like a pretty little stream that runs along the path that she walks that has some evidence. Maybe critical information or witness even could be over here that they haven't even interviewed, or maybe they have interviewed and we just don't know. There could be a reason, and I should have said that in part one, there could be a reason that the police have been quiet. They could know a lot more, and they usually do, about who they talked to, who was on the path, witnesses in her life. They know that something's going on. Beach could also represent a water element. It could represent either somehow she's near water, or water. That water represents emotions. It represents an emotional situation. So it could be that, right? We have man. Usually when it comes up to like a characteristic or a detail about a person, and it says man, that would tell me that this is a male who knows something or had something to do with her disappearance. Okay. Motive. We have monetary gain. Wow. I said in part one that I felt like she may have been wanting to cut something off, cut someone off, or stop something, and that could have angered someone. Okay. And we talked about local. Children, we did touch on children and concealed. But again, I just want to emphasize that I know what I said in part one about her son being arrested maybe a couple weeks ago and held without bond on old traffic violations. And I don't know if he had warrants. He may have had warrants related to old traffic violations. And I found it peculiar that you would arrest a child of a missing parent. He's an adult, but still, I just would think that the officers wouldn't do that unless they had good reason to do that, right? So there's that, but that doesn't necessarily mean guilt. It just means that maybe they're going by the book, right? They found out that someone in her household had old warrants and a record, and so they had to handle it. But this tells me too that maybe the child knows something is in concealing some information. Okay. Doesn't mean that the information he or she, I don't know if she has a daughter or not, it doesn't mean that that information that is concealed means that that person had anything to do with it, but that's the cards that are sitting next to each other. Okay. All right, I'm gonna pause here, scoot these over there. I'm gonna take a picture, scoot those over there, and then we're gonna move on to the next part of the oracle reading. Be right back. Okay, so let's get to this next part. Just see what this one has to say about what happened to Mariam. Or any clues that we need to be aware of. Crossing borders. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Writing. Well, we're getting somewhere. This one fell to the floor. So let me show you what we've got so far. We've got van, bridge, changed appearance, new hairstyle, different clothing, makeup, or facial hair. And my eye draws to facial hair. Could also be changed appearance though. Maybe they once had a clean shaven look and now they have a full beard, for example. Or they once had short, a haircut, now they've grown their hair out, or vice versa. Or wears different clothing now. So that's what I'm picking up on that card. Then we got church, religion, faith, or spiritual. Okay. Now this is interesting to me. Crossing borders, and I'll tell you all why in a moment. Clean, framed, innocent, clear conscience, setup, or scapegoat. Now that's interesting. Gunshot or shooting. Now, it could be an actual gun or a shooting, God forbid. Or sometimes when this card comes up, it could be somebody heard gunshots. Somebody may have said, I heard gunshots that day. Or, a witness saying they heard something. Or it could be that someone is targeted. When you shoot someone, you have a target, right? So it could be something to that nature. Remember, in readings, sometimes it's actual and sometimes it's figurative. We have January. Now, January is of importance. It could be someone's birthday month. It could be something happening in the past during January. It could be something coming up in January or a big development in the case in January. Okay. Then we have known to police in the system criminal record. Okay. Okay. I like to mix it up. Guilty knowledge that the act, which is so interesting to me, sitting underneath the cleaned and framed. But, maybe somebody is being scapegoated. Maybe, and maybe they know something is scapegoat, but they haven't revealed everything, and that could be why they're being looked at closely. Something to that effect, right? Anything else, Spirit, you wish to share with us about what may have happened to her or where she may be at? Okay, awaiting rescue and delays. That's interesting. Be lovely if she is captive somewhere, right? I can't pick up a read on, we have summer. I can't pick up on a read yet on what I'm picking up on if she's crossed over. The only thing that I'm picking up on that could allude to that is that dagger card that jumped in part 1. All right. Anything else, Spirit? February. Travel. Two more cards, Spirit. 200 to 500 kilometers. These miles are always like, what? Sometimes they make sense, sometimes they don't at all. So yeah, we'll just go with it. We'll just go with it, won't we? All right, I'm going to zoom in now so we can get a closer look. All right. All right. Let's talk about it. We've got van. So it could be somebody who drives a van, someone who moved her after the fact. Maybe they encounter her on foot, and then after everything was said and done, they moved her. Or she willingly got in the van. I don't know, but there is a vehicle involved. It could be that evidence is in a vehicle that belongs to someone who knows what may have happened to her. Bridge. I don't know if there's a bridge in that park or on that trail. That would be interesting to know. Sometimes it could be, figuratively speaking, that she was a bridge to someone or something. So bridge is of importance. We talked about the changed appearance card. Church, religion, faith, or spiritual. When I look at her, I get a sense that she's a very spiritual woman. Maybe someone who is at a church that she attends knows something about a situation that she's involved in. Maybe maybe there's some sort of religious affiliation that is tied to this case. Maybe it could be that there's information at a nearby church or something happened at a nearby church. I don't know. Crossing borders. Now, this is the one I wanted to talk to you all about. So, people were wondering, did maybe she leave the country? And from what I understand, the police said they ruled that out. I mean, unless she was smuggled and, taken across the border to Canada or to Mexico, she didn't use her passport, is what I got from what the officers were saying. Now, when I believe she was reported missing, her son was in Africa, I believe. I forgot what country, but he was in Africa. So he crossed borders. So there's that. Now, this could be speaking to just simply that, nothing more, nothing less. Or that someone will attempt in the future to cross borders. Okay. So just understand that. Now, again, I'm not trying to just steer us all to her child. This sometimes when we're doing these energetic readings, we're picking up on the energies of all aspects of the case, okay? Not just her disappearance or what happened to her, but all aspects surrounding it. As a result of it, for a while, I was thinking, okay, well, he's clean, according to this card. He's innocent because he has an alibi. He's in another country, but the police never released what the dates were that he was actually out of the country, right? So I don't know that information. But perhaps maybe this is saying the person who crossed the borders is actually innocent and a scapegoat Could be. We talked about the gunshot shooting car. We talked about January. Now, this is interesting to me. Known to police in the system, criminal record. Okay? So, this is telling me someone who may have knowledge, who may have done something, or may be a part of her disappearance, is known to the police, has a criminal record, or in the system, or the police are aware, way more aware of information than we are privy to. Okay, that is typical in these type of cases. I now am looking at this. Are you noticing this? That this clean, innocent, clear conscious, set up, scapegoat, framed card is sitting over the guilty knowledge did the act. You see that? There's no coincidences here. So it could be that whoever is responsible is saying, look, I'm innocent. I have an alibi. I have a clear conscience. I'm a scapegoat. You're focusing on the wrong person. I'm not the one. You got to go after so-and-so. And really and truly, they may have knowledge. They may be guilty, or they even may have done the act. Okay. Now, this gives me some hope. I'm always looking for hope in these readings, okay? That's why I have to take breaks from doing them, because sometimes I get really attached to the people who I do the readings on. You can't help it. I do try to work on detachment and disengaging from their energies, but I still follow the stories, and I still, all the cases I've done on Mystery Mystic Monday, I follow up and I look. Even if I don't do a follow-up reading, I always check to see what's going on with them. So I'm hoping that this card means she is awaiting rescue, but I think the keyword that's sitting here is delays. A delay is an important part of this case. What that means and everything, that will come to pass. It could be a delay in reporting her missing. It could be a delay in the response from law enforcement. It could be a delay in something preceding the disappearance. Delays and her needing to be rescued from a situation is of importance. And I say that because in part 1, the umbrella card came up from the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. And that tells me, you know, she needed protection from something beyond her control. But this keyword, especially delays, stands out to me. Summer. Summer is of importance. Summer is when she went missing. July 29th, 2023 is when Mariam went missing. She was walking on a trail. This is something she always does right before dark. It's evening, you know, afternoon or evening walk, 30 to 45 minutes daily, I believe. So this is even her summertime routine. I don't know if it snows in Maryland or not, but I'd imagine that in the summer it's probably beautiful to walk, you know, in the park or the trails. But this disappearance happened in summer. Summer is of importance. It could be next summer that we really find out what's going on and what happened. Or maybe all of everything that led up to her disappearance kicked off really and truly in the summer. Like when summer first started in June 20th-ish, right? February is of importance. It could represent a major development in the case. It could represent something happening in January and February of this year that police hone in on. It could represent a birthday month. Okay. Travel. Could she have traveled? Sure. Could she have traveled with the person that may have been responsible in the past? Sure. Could she have traveled and that's why we don't know where she's at today? Very well possible. Could it be that this is speaking to her, the movement of her? And we have here the landfill, dumpster, trash, or beach, or mountain. We have those places, if you will. I just feel like because we got the suburban and local cards, that she is local. But then we have 200 to 500 kilometers and 600 kilometers to 200 kilometers. I'm not sure what that translates to in miles. I would have to Google it. If y'all know offhand, please leave a comment. But yeah, I'd have to Google that. It could be that someone traveled to try to get rid of evidence here, there, everywhere. It could be that this is how far they've taken her. It could be this is how far she's traveled. It could be at one point this person who's responsible, or persons who are responsible for her disappearance, live at one point this distance, or has gone or had planned to travel this distance in the future to kind of escape getting in trouble. Now, that's what I'm picking up on here. I don't know what else to say about that. I'm going to pause here because I'm going to pull from a couple of more decks. I'm going to scoot these over just a little bit. I'll be right back. All right, so let's see. So is there any additional information you'd like to share with us about Mariam and her disappearance? Anything else you'd like to share with us about who did it, or where she may be at, or what's going on here? Gotta chill with that last one. Let me show you what we got so far. I like to take a moment just to show you what we got. We got lake, news media, ocean. And you're probably like, how could that be? It may be near a body of water, evidence taken to a body of water, or, and what I'm really picking up on is that this runs deep, emotionally deep, this situation. And that would lead me to believe that there's a connection, and a connection to her, an emotional tie to her, with this much water in the reading. We've got the beach card over here. We have lake. We have ocean. So I'm going to stick that there. So, and in between that, we got news and media. Now, maybe something, this is going to tell us that something's going to come out. I'm trying to get her picture. Okay, maybe something's going to come out in the news media at some point in the near future about what happened. So it could just simply mean that. It could also mean that information that we already have seen in the news is a critical clue as to who or what happened, or who is responsible and what happened. Okay, so that's, and also a call to news media to put more pressure out. More pressure, please, because I think that could help the case. Next up, we got bald. So bald could be a male who had no hair. But remember, we got the change appearance. So maybe they grew their hair out since this happened, or vice versa. Maybe they cut their hair in an effort to, change up the look or disguise themselves, because maybe someone saw them in the park. Okay, bald. Or it could just be, I don't know. I don't know how it would show up figuratively. But what's interesting is if you look carefully at this picture, there's a butterfly here. And the butterfly represents transformation. So that I'm picking up on that tying into the card here, changed appearance. The card that kind of made me be like, oh, is mother. And that is alarming. Not to say it's her mom. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't even know if her mom is still with us or not. But her being as a mother figure, is a part of the situation. Why she's disappeared. Can't escape. Now again, this could give us some hope. These two cards. I don't know. I'm wondering if Spirit is trying to tell us with the lake and ocean that, you know, it may be too late, that she's no longer with us. But I'm gonna hold out on hope, right? Maybe the gunshot is telling us that as well. I don't know. And I'm not gonna dig too deep into trying to figure that out. I'll pull a couple more cards. Sometimes my intuition is really strong and it picks up almost instantly, knowing if someone is with us or if they've crossed over. This is different. This is different. I feel like she's no longer, I feel like her energy is kind of like dissipating or weak. That could mean she has crossed over, but it also could mean, you know, something else. And we have can't escape. Now this could be, she just couldn't escape a situation. It could be that the only way she could escape is to leave. Or it could be someone felt like they had no escape other than to have her disappear. Somebody felt like they had no other option, or she literally can't escape. And this can also speak to her crossing over. I don't like to push the issue on trying to force Spirit to reveal all that to us, because sometimes we're not yet meant to know, right? Friends, it doesn't, I mean, it could mean a friend did this or is responsible for the disappearance, but I'm sensing that a friend or friends knows a bit more about her situation than what we know, for sure. And they may have revealed that to the police with this known to police card. Could it mean that a friend has something to do with it? Sure. Anything else? We have mental health. Okay. Sitting underneath the mother. Maybe it might come out later. Ooh, out of town. Maybe it might come out later that she was going through something, or someone close to her has gone through something. We have that over here with mental jail, mental health. These cards are talking to each other. Mental health. Now, the mental health could be, you know, someone who's not mentally stable, that their motive was monetary gain, but you gotta be a little mentally ill to do something to a woman, right? To try to make it where she can't escape. Something's off here. But also, this card can signal that somebody may, in the near future, we may hear in the media that someone had a mental breakdown as it relates to her disappearance. They may crack under pressure, or it just may be too much for them. Friends may also know about someone close to her, or even her herself was under a lot of mental stress and pressure. Out of town. That's interesting. Out of town. Out of town. Out of town. Was somebody out of town? That's using that as an alibi. Will somebody go out of town? Is she just outside of town, but still kind of local, nearby, but maybe the next town over? Could it be that someone had left and, like I said before, trying to say they have an alibi? I don't know. But out of town. Out of town. And that ties into that travel in these kilometers. Sometimes the kilometers are just speaking to how they traveled around and around, and it ends up adding up to these different distances. You know what I mean? Like round trip. They went here, they went there, and then it all adds up. Could be that. But out of town is an important clue. All right, I'm going to pause. because we're going to do the last little bit, which is looking at just some key timing elements, and then we're going to wrap up the reading, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, my friends, so now we're gonna just look at some key timing elements. We already have some here, February and January, right? But I just like to tap in with my This Time Oracle to see if we get any insights into what may have happened, and if so, when. To pull from this little timing deck as well. So, Spirit, anything else you wish to share with us about the timing as it relates to her case? Okay. One thing that I didn't get the Justice cards out of either my deck that I created or this one. This one has a Justice card. I find that interesting. My intuition says that we will eventually find out. We will. We will get some more insight into what may have happened, because people are vested in her disappearance. They want to know what happened to her. And even though we may not be hearing much about it in the media or like with the media, I believe that probably the community leaders, I'm sure, are definitely, and her relatives are definitely pressing for the police to do something. So I do sense that we will be hearing more about her disappearance in the future. Okay. Okay. Spirit has a sense of humor today. All right, so we have don't wait, move on. So this could just simply be speaking to her moving on, her needing to move on. We talked about that in part 1. So it could be that. That could be what this is speaking to. We've got 9 to 12 weeks. 9 to 12 weeks could be how long it takes to really hear something or really see some movement or get some real answers about where she is or what happened. And we got 7 to 9 months. It could be that's in the totality of, and remember, these cards can also be speaking to how long it took leading up to the disappearance that things really started to get, especially this 9 to 12 weeks, that things started to really get too much. It became too much for her, or it became too much for the person who may know or had something to do with her disappearance. So it could be about the time frames preceding this event. And we have 7 to 9 months. It could be 7 to 9 months before things really start to flesh out for us to really understand what happened, where she's at, where was she, why, what is going on, who are the players. And when I say we, I'm meaning like her family, friends first, and her local community, and then us at large. We, as the people in the world, may not get privy or may be privy to all the information that her loved ones will be getting. So I always say that because sometimes it'll look like nothing is happening, but we're just not getting that information. Maybe we don't get the information until an arrest is made, for example, or until she's found. But they're getting information maybe on bits and pieces of the investigation. The new moon. Now, the new moon can literally mean that we find out some information during a new moon cycle. It also can represent a new moon phase. And what does that mean? You know, the new moon is dark, and it is embarking on a new beginning. It's the dark before the light. And I'm getting a sense that Spirit is saying something here about her, okay? And I'm also getting a sense that preceding her disappearance, that was the space she was in. She was starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I also get a sense that we were wondering what may have happened to her. I feel like this card may be shedding some light. Okay. Let me show you these cards. It says in the distant future, so that's what I was saying. You know, we are probably going to hear something more about the next steps of the investigation. We can always do a detailed tarot and oracle reading if need be in the future to ask about, is justice going to be served? What's next in the case? We explore more about who may have done this. But I prefer to have this reading go out and then see what spirit reveals to us with the cards as the time progresses, see what law enforcement reveals, and then do a more detailed tarot and oracle reading in the future. In the distant future, I'm getting a hit that we're going to get some answers. This month we found out that her son was arrested on old traffic violation and warrant charges and all of that. But maybe this month is maybe speaking of September. I don't know, because I'm recording this at the very end of August, so I don't know what else this could speak to. You are not prepared, and this is another card that tells me we are not prepared to hear about what may have transpired. So that's sometimes when Spirit doesn't always give us all the details of what may have happened to a person, is because we are not prepared. There are loved ones, friends, people who are Googling and searching for her. And this video may come up and a loved one may watch this reading and they may not be prepared to receive what has happened. Okay? So I don't press that. I don't push that. Stop trying to control the timing. This is where I said Spirit has a little stop trying to control the timing. I think that ties into this. It's like, you know what, everything is happening in divine order and divine timing, and things will unfold as need be. Okay? As they always does, justice, it comes in its own form and fashion, right? We talk about that a lot here on this channel. But yeah, that's what I have to say about all of that, my friends. That's what I have to say. I'm going to be taking pictures of these spreads, and I pray for Mariam. I pray for her loved ones and her friends and the people who care about her. I pray for her to be found and for answers to come. And if something did happen to her, we definitely want swift justice. So, yeah. That's what I got. Do me a favor, on your way out, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you be a part of the Abundant Life Tarot family. We are almost at 5,000 subscribers, my friends, and I could not have done that without you. So thank you. And drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about this reading. It also, what did you think about part 1 and how it relates to part 2 of the 2 videos I've recorded for this particular reading. I want to hear from you, okay? I always love hearing from you all when you're sharing about what cards you pulled and what intuitive hits you got, and if you're local to the area, what information you know that you see coming up in the cards here is so helpful. And I adore each and every one of you. Take very, very good care of yourselves, okay? Much love, many blessings, and until the next time, bye for now.